Hey everybody, Al2 here, 316RC, back again today with another video. And today we're going to put some custom lettering on some 1/5 scale tires. In this case, I have my FG F1 race car. We're going to figure out, and I'm going to show you how to put some of these custom vinyl lettering on these tires. So let's get down and let's get started. Just going to go over a few tools here that we'll be using today, that I'll be using. You may or may not need all of these, but first of all, a lint-free cloth, a hobby knife, a pair of super fine tiny scissors, and a pair of curved scissors to help cut the decal. And you will need some alcohol to help clean your tires. Alright, the vinyl decals we'll be using today are ones I picked up from Detroit Performance. They are different ones, I'm sure. These are the ones I picked. I got Goodyear Eagle, and here's some Huser. The ones I'll be using today are the Goodyear Eagle in the yellow. They do have different colors available. Alright, let's get our tire down here and let's get started. Okay, first thing we want to do is clean our wheel using our lint-free cloth and some alcohol. I'm just going to clean the outside surface. This is the tire off my Formula F1 FG Formula F1 race car, two-wheel drive. So we're going to be applying these on here today. Now, just a quick, these tires here, they have I don't know if you can see it here. I don't want to touch it. They have a spot where they're glued together here. So unfortunately, my decals are going to be resting across this seam. Depending on what tire you use, that may not be an issue for you, but that's going to be a little bit of an issue today. Okay, we're ready to get started applying these decals. Now, first off, you must be patient and take your time with these. These can be really difficult, or these can be really easy, depending upon the size of your tire and the size of the decals. As you can see, these decals come sort of laid out in a circle. Now, if I put this down on the tire, you can see, I hope you can see anyway, that this is not the same. The diameter of spread on the letters is not the same as the diameter on this tire, so this is going to create some extra work. So what I'm going to have to do for the Goodyear, I'm going to have to cut the winged boot out of the middle and cut the year and cut the good off, and I'm going to have to apply all three of these differently. You may or may not have to do this depending upon the diameter of your tire, but as you can see, mine is not the same as the spread on the vinyl decal. So first thing we're going to do is take our scissors and we're going to trim this boot out of here. Just cut this. And be very careful that you don't nip the vinyl. Okay, there's the ear out of there. Now we'll just get our boot. This is where the curved scissors can help you. You can cut a curve to help yourself get around this area. Like so. There's our boot. And then there's our good. So the first thing you want to do is get an idea where you want to put this. Keep in mind on the Goodyear, the boot is sort of like at an angle. So if you look at the original, here's a decal, the winged shoe goes at an angle. It's not flat like this. So you want to try to keep that angle. And as far as the lettering, we're going to try to have the upper, you want to get this in the center as best you can. So my letters are just going to be above this seam here. So for that to be the case, that puts my winged boot about this area right here in the seam. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel off this backing. It can be a little funky to get off, but got the backing peeled off. Now I like to take my hobby knife and just kind of stick it on there and just, like I said, get an idea of where you want this to go. Now I pretty much want this on the square, so this is the middle of my wheel. And I said this is going to be somewhere about right here. So just kind of lay it on there and make sure that's exactly where you want it. You will have a chance to lift this up until you press it down. And that looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and press that down. Just take your finger and work it in there. And then you'll be able to take your hobby knife and just peel this backing material off. Be very careful not to cut your decal. Peel it off slowly. And there's our foot. Now you can go back in and press it down. When we're all done with these, we're going to take some clear spray and we're going to coat these and kind of seal them to the tire. Okie dokie. Alright, next thing is to lay our letters down. And like I said, this groove, this seam right here on the tire, my letters are just going to be above it. So you want the same amount. And right there, that looks like that's going to be pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and peel this backing off and see if we can get this set. Our backing here. Peel this off very easily, or these vinyl letters may come off on you. Take your hobby knife and use that to help. Oop. Take your hobby knife to use that to get into position. Now the D goes, the bottom of the D is about right here where the shoe, the bends, the foot part bends. So we're going to say about actually needs to go a little lower. Just take your time on these, guys. So I'm saying about right. That's a good spot for the D. And get my G over here where it should go, about right there. Take a double check here, and that looks like that is pretty good. That looks pretty good to me, so we're going to go ahead and press her down. And peel off our backing. Okay. Looks good. Seems to be about perfect. Like I said, just lay this on here lightly. If you don't press down on it, you'll be able to pick it back off with your hobby knife and move it. That looks to be pretty darn good, so we're going to say yes to that and press it down. And when you rub your finger over it like this, you're actually creating some heat, which helps the adhesive melt and stick. And peel this off. Okie dokie. I'd say it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and we're going to put our eagle down here. Next will be the eagle. Alright, now we're going to put our eagle on the bottom half, and as you can see, even though this is only 5 letters, it's not the right curve. So we're going to have to do the same thing we did with the Goodyear. We're going to have to cut the G out and put that on first. Put the E and the A on separate, and the L and the E separate. I'm going to say that looks pretty good right there. Whoop. Single letter can be a little bit of a bugger to get started straight. That looks pretty good, so I'm going to say that's good for the G. Okay, let's just get this peeled off. Okay, there we go. There's our G. As you can see, what you want to try to do here is look at one you didn't peel apart. Try to get this gap between the letters the same, as close as you can. I mean, this is all eyeball. You're eyeballing this. There's no way to really measure or anything. You have to eyeball this and just do the best you can. That looks like I got the right gap. That looks pretty good. My E across the C, my A looks a little low. That looks better. That looks pretty good right there. I think we're going to let that go. That seems to look pretty good. I'm going to push that down. I mean, the seam is kind of good and bad. It gives me sort of a reference point. Well, here would be my L and E. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. We're going to go with that right there. Okie dokie. There we go. That's it right there. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty darn good. That's about the best you can do when the vinyl stencil does not match the diameter of your tire. You're going to have to make adjustments, and you're going to have to eyeball it to get it on, but it looks pretty good. All right, finished up the second wheel, so here they are. They look pretty good. Pretty happy with them. So I'm going to get these out back and put a protective spray coating on them. All right, getting ready to spray the sealer on these decals. Going to be using this Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover Clear Matte. Just going to lightly dust them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then I'll put on a second coat, and that will be finished. Okay, tires are all dry from the matte spray that I put on. I actually put on about 6 really light coats. I put on like 2 or 3 and found out that it just wasn't enough. So I did put them on light, but this is the finished product. I think it came out really, really cool. Looks really nice. So, all right, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down in the comment section if you've ever done these vinyl decals. I never seen anybody that do them, so this is the method I came up to use to do it with. I hope if you decide to do it, this video might help you. So stay tuned. I got some real cool stuff coming out soon. My body for my FG F1 IndyCar is coming back from the painter, so I'm getting the FG all set up and ready to go. There she is right there. So that's going to be coming out real soon, so stay tuned for that, guys. All right, time for me to get out of here. Al2 here, 316 RC. See you on the next video. So long.